Bitcoin over 100,000.
2-week high for Bitcoin.
And Bitcoin being a big winner.
Track the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin being worth something on the order of $500,000.
Bitcoin isn't used for anything other than speculation.
Bitcoin itself is a hyped up fraud.
There's no intrinsic value to this asset.
Le Bitcoin, un faux ami, voire même une menace pour certains pays.
Татьяна, а в чем ценность биткоина? Это какое-то псевдозолото, которое куют из воздуха.
I get into enough trouble with things I think I know something about. Why in the world should I take a long or short position in something I don't know anything about, something I don't know anything about, something I don't know anything about?
It is a very big idea.
So this is a follow-up to my previous video, What is Money? If you haven't seen that one, I recommend watching it first. But now, let's dive into the world of Bitcoin. At its core, Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer network used to transfer value. The value takes the shape of the Bitcoin currency, or BTC. Every unit of BTC can be divided into 100 million satoshis, or sats. To keep track of who has how much BTC, a ledger is maintained in the form of a blockchain. Blocks of a few thousand transactions are chained together all the way back to the Genesis block, first mined in 2009. About every 10 minutes, a new block of transactions is added to the chain. Across the globe, tens of thousands of computers update, protect, and verify the blockchain. Some of these computers, called miners, use immense quantities of electricity to compete for the right to create the next block by solving complex mathematical problems. Why so much electricity? Because it is the only way to keep a network truly secure. Software alone can be hacked, hardware can be compromised, but energy cannot be faked. Bitcoin is protected by actual proof of work. Every time a miner mines a new block, they get two rewards. The small fees paid for each transaction, but more importantly, they receive the block's subsidy in the form of new BTC entering into circulation, some of which they use to pay for their equipment and their electricity usage. The flow of new BTC per block gets halved every 4 years, while the stock of existing BTC keeps growing. This means Bitcoin's stock-to-flow ratio keeps increasing, making it more and more deflationary compared to everything else. Each new block is also validated by thousands of computers called full nodes, meaning they store the entire blockchain on their hard drives. These validators scan the blockchain to make sure each new block is consistent with the rest of the ledger. Nodes use very little electricity to verify a block. This dynamic between miners and nodes makes it very expensive to try to mine a fake transaction and very cheap to reject it. Let's talk about the majority of users now. How do people get some BTC? Well, to receive some Bitcoin, all you need is a Bitcoin address. Many software wallet applications, such as these, allow users to send and receive BTC from their smartphones, tablets, and laptops. Hardware wallets, such as these, add an extra layer of security by keeping the private keys used to sign transactions in a device disconnected from the internet. By the way, I'm not sponsored by any of these, so I encourage you to explore all options. The internet is full of tutorial videos on how to use these wallets, including videos from the manufacturers themselves, so I will not go into much detail here, but I'll leave some links in the description. So where do people get their BTC? We already know that miners get it from mining the next block on the blockchain. The rest of us must acquire it through a different kind of value exchange. Some people provide a product or a service and get paid for it in BTC. But most people, however, buy it by exchanging fiat currency on online exchanges. There are dozens of crypto exchanges worldwide, the biggest ones being Binance, Coinbase, Bybit, Kraken, and OKX. These crypto exchanges offer BTC and hundreds, if not thousands, of other cryptocurrencies. By the way, this is a good moment to explain that cryptocurrencies, or the crypto market, and Bitcoin are actually two different things. In over 15 years, no crypto founder was able to create a new monetary medium as reliable as Bitcoin. Every time a new coin comes on the market, it's always, in the best case, a trade-off, and in the worst case, a complete scam. Some cryptocurrencies claim they're faster than Bitcoin, but they're also less secure. Some other ones claim they're more private, but they're also not as anti-inflationary. So every single time there's a trade-off. The flaws of cryptocurrencies are often used by the mainstream media to confuse people by grouping Bitcoin and 20,000 cryptos all in the same category. To make it simple, remember this: Bitcoin is digital gold. The rest of the 20,000 cryptos are mostly an online casino in which you can participate at your own risk. So for somebody interested only in Bitcoin, smaller exchanges can do the trick. Here are a few Bitcoin-focused smaller exchanges, including Relay in Switzerland, ShakePay and Bull Bitcoin in Canada, Swan and River in the USA, and Coin Corner in the UK. Whichever exchange you end up using, remember to withdraw any significant amount of Bitcoin to a private wallet, because as long as your funds are on your exchange account, all you have is an IOU from the company, which, in the case of bankruptcy, will leave you with nothing, as FTX customers found out very quickly. So as we say in the Bitcoin community, not your keys, not your coins. There are other ways to buy Bitcoin, such as Bitcoin teller machines or BTMs and online peer-to-peer services, but be aware that the more private you want your Bitcoin acquisition to be, the more technical skill you will need. If you're looking for convenience, you might have to sacrifice a bit of privacy. In the end, Bitcoin is an open and transparent protocol. Anyone is welcome to join, whether it's as a miner, as a node, as a business, or as a holder. By now, you understand that BTC is a currency circulating on the Bitcoin network. But is that it? Just another currency? Nah, Bitcoin is so much more. Bitcoin is a way to send value to any part of the globe without asking for permission. Bitcoin is the money of the people. At its center are simple mathematical rules that everyone agrees on and no one controls. The architecture of neutrality that doesn't ascribe any meaning to source, destination, or value is what creates censorship resistance. Andreas M. Antonopoulos. Notice how every time you want to use money, you need permission. Permission from your bank, from your credit card company, from your payment processor, from your government, and so on. What if those permissions are revoked? Or what if they break down? Do you have a backup plan? To be free, independent citizens, we all need a way to transfer value without permission. Bitcoin is also a way to protect your money from currency debasement. Unlike national currency, the supply of BTC is capped at 21 million. There will never be more than 21 million BTC. This limit is anchored in the code, and the entire Bitcoin ecosystem is incentivized to never change this limit. If by some magic feat of self-sabotage, hundreds of thousands of miners and node operators from 5 continents get together to alter Bitcoin's supply cap, they will instantly destroy their own wealth. This alignment of incentives keeps the supply cap immutable today and forever. Thanks to the difficulty adjustment built into the protocol, the issuance schedule of new BTC will remain the same regardless of how much computer power is used to mine it. In other words, if you double the amount of electricity used to mine Bitcoin worldwide, You won't create twice as much Bitcoin. You will only double the network's security. Bitcoin's value is predicated on it being finite. This means that in comparison to it, everything is less scarce. Humanity can always produce more silver, gold, diamonds, oil barrels, dollars, bonds, stocks, cars, and houses. Yet, there will only ever be 21 million BTC. Bitcoin is not just the first digital good to be verifiably scarce. It is the only good to be verifiably scarce. In that way, Bitcoin can become a base layer for a sound monetary system. Imagine a system where no one can steal your wealth by producing more of what your wealth is stored in. Speaking of theft, Bitcoin also protects your money from potential criminals by storing it on the most secure ledger in the world. No one can access your BTC without your private key. If you store that 12-word passphrase in your mind, literally nobody will ever be able to see it. For the first time in human history, you will actually be able to take your own wealth to the grave, something not even Egyptian pharaohs could do. By the way, by doing so, you will only increase the wealth of living Bitcoiners. In short, Bitcoin is here to give you full control over your money by protecting it from all criminals, whether they come from the street, from your bank, from a neighboring country, or from your own government. Some of you might still not be convinced. But Anton, you say, I've been using my national currency forever. It works. Why would I need Bitcoin? Well, here are just a few cases in which you might need Bitcoin. What if you want to pay someone living far away for their service without asking for permission? What if you want to support a media organization shut out from the worldwide financial system? What if you want to encourage a peaceful protest trying to restore the right to bodily autonomy and your government doesn't let you? What if you have relatives in a country labeled unfriendly by the world hegemon and you want to send them money? What if you don't want your assets to be confiscated because you disagree with the powers that be? What if you have to flee your country because of a sudden war and you can only take one suitcase with you? What if your currency goes into hyperinflation because of government mismanagement and all your savings turn to dust? Even in normal times, what if you don't want your savings to be devalued by the slow inflation created by government bureaucrats? What if you don't want to give your money to Wall Street to keep your head above the rising tide of inflation? What if you don't trust your country's pension system and you want to save in something more reliable? What if you want to invest in something that isn't correlated with the monetary policy of your country or that of any country? What if you want to monetize a remote source of energy that would otherwise be wasted? What if you want to leave your kids something of value that won't be stolen, taxed away, or devalued? What if you want the flexibility of taking all your money with you and moving anytime, anywhere at the drop of a hat? What if individual freedom is one of your core values and you want it reflected in your financial life? These are just a few reasons why you might need Bitcoin. In conclusion, Bitcoin is an incorruptible software, an immutable digital property, a timeless store of energy, a borderless payment system, a commodity without an issuer, a scarce amount of cyberspace, an anti-fragile asset, a medium of free expression, a universal language, a unifying global network, and a safekeeper of individual freedom. Bitcoin is the decentralized alternative to central and commercial bank money creation and movement. Study it assiduously and use it wisely, because it might just be the next step in your own personal evolution. If you want to learn more about Bitcoin, I wrote a short guide called The Simplest Guide to Bitcoin for Beginners, so I will link to it below. Thanks for watching.